is here, and we are jacking up the Airstream right now because it sort of fell over during a windstorm a couple months ago.
It didn't fall over, it just slid off the blocks that I had put down.
All right, I'm a TV news reporter formerly in a past life, and almost fell over and fell over close enough.
Slid off the blocks. It fell over. It sounds like we ought to do like a little graphic where the Airstream's like upside down. That'll be the thumbnail.
Anyway, don't let the facts ruin a good story. So now that the weather has broken like a fever, we are taking a gander at the Airstream and its survival over this harsh, snowpocalyptic, rural lifestyle that we've changed to.
I mean, normally here they have like 6 feet of snow at a minimum in some spots, right?
Yeah, believe it or not, they actually told us this is a light year. So anyway, that does not bode well for me because there was one week where I really felt like I was moving to Hawaii and no one was stopping me. It is up to my waist in the parts where our neighbor John did not plow. The Airstream. It'll be under there somewhere when the snow starts to melt, but wow, look at this.
I actually had to take my sweatshirt off.
He's mine, ladies and gents.
Just about finished gutting this thing. I take pleasure in gutting you, boy. We had built the gantries, or at least one set of gantries, so that we could lift this thing off the frame when everything in our situation changed. Allie getting out of news.
Ouch.
Take the gantry crane apart, the part that we had started putting together. So now we're going to be looking at possibly rebuilding the gantry crane so that we can start like lifting this thing off. I can start working on the frame. I would like to identify somewhere where we could get somebody to actually reseal the windows for us. That would be super rad. It would save us some time. That's worth the money spent. But the interesting thing is, what I'm worried about now is us actually, not just the financial side of, okay, how are we going to pay for the stuff that we want to use to start rebuilding the trailer, but where are we going to get the materials from? Are we going to actually be able to get stuff shipped to us?
The world has sort of come to a halt. You may be aware that there are things going on around us that have caused people to lose jobs, to have to shut down businesses, to shelter in place, essentially.
You guys are looking a little dirty at home. Come here. I know I shouldn't be doing this with my t-shirt, but...
My 2 videos I did on this pandemic and said the word, I got demonetized on YouTube. So without saying the word, we'll just say life is not as it was 3 weeks ago. I wish we had finished the Airstream 3 weeks ago. We're nowhere near a 3-week turn on this thing. We got a ways to go, but Lynn just called our lumber store because since now the weather is better, we're like, okay, we could get started. But the lumber store, turns out, is having issues just like everybody else.
They weren't letting anybody in the store. And this isn't like your traditional big box store like a Home Depot or a Lowe's. It's really more for professionals who are coming in to get larger quantities of lumber, professional procure like tools and stuff. But she's like, yeah, we don't let we're not letting anybody in the store. There's a 2-hour wait to just come pick stuff up. And she didn't even have a schedule. They weren't even going to be able to do schedule that day for doing delivery. Just taking a kind of stock again is like, okay, where do we want to start? And so what's going to be our step-by-step? Because that's what this is. Anytime you're rebuilding something or redoing something, you have to look at, well, what's my step-by-step process going to be for this?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jeez, honey.
I didn't realize we were on. Anyway, so as somebody who is very efficiency minded and Maybe you've seen me talk about how I've never committed to anything for over like 5 hours because that was how long it took me to do my job each day.
Okay.
Wow. This is not funny. What is so funny?
What? I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm just trying to be the cameraman here.
Well, you're trying not hard enough. Can you wait and then you can say it after?
You want me to wait?
Yeah, and then I'll turn the camera around and you can say what you want to say.
You're sure you want me to wait?
Yes. Why?
Okay. No, go ahead.
Why, I have a booger?
No, you're fine. Keep going.
Now, the Airstream, we are going to be coming up in August on 2 years. And, well, as you can see, it's not really livable unless you are gravitationally challenged, like you don't need a floor. Wow. You get what you pay for, I guess, around here. The economy situation right now is a little shaky. I think you've been watching too much YouTube and stuck inside for too long.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, honey, I really am.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, I'm done. I am not doing this anymore. You're a weirdo. I think you must have sucked helium or something. I don't know what's going on.
I just wanted to tell you something.
What? What do you want to say?
Rub your nose.
Why? Oh, honey.
When you were banging your head against the side of the trailer or whatever the residue was.
Why didn't you just say that?
Well, I tried to, and then you got upset with me.
Yeah, because a good producer, cameraman doesn't laugh. They just tell you what you need to do to look better. As Lynn was saying, besides the fact that it's hard to find supplies right now, we don't know what the economy is going to do and what our financial situation is going to be. So we're kind of like, should we be holding on to money right now for groceries and not buying wood and aluminum and stuff we need for the Airstream? I don't know, folks. Everything's kind of up in the air right now. We'd love your thoughts if you have any on this one, but that's kind of where we're at. Giggles McGiggles is now going to tell us more.
With the wind situation that we have here, I don't want to lift this thing off and have it like suspended while we're waiting on parts and things like that. However, I do feel that if I can at least get the lumber that we need to, because I used some of it over the winter to build some shelves in the garage, because it was sitting there, so I figured I'd make use of it. But I need to build supports for lifting this thing so that it doesn't get all out of cattywampus and out of whack. But I do feel like I could be able to set it down once I get the trailer out from underneath it, and then I can begin work on, fabbing up the stuff I need to fix on the trailer. So I think we're just taking a measured approach at it. Definitely, we're going to still follow through with this as best as we can and see where things go. You got so mad at me.
Moral of the story is anything can happen when you're renovating an Airstream, and it's really hard to prepare for it all, but if you're considering getting into this, you should know that it doesn't always follow plans, and it will probably take you 2 to 3 times longer than what you thought. So if you're game for that and you don't have patience anxiety disorder like I do, then you'll be fine. Well, on one hand, here we are working remotely, like Lynn's home, not training like he was supposed to be. I'm working from home. We're here in front of the Airstream more, but do we touch it or not? I don't know. On the bright side, our kid, if this goes another decade, will get to participate in building the home. Pray for us that that is not the case.
Hear that?
Yeah.
We're gonna put you to work. Gonna be looking at things like getting these panels removed once we got it framed up and maybe off the frame. Definitely looking at taking these windows off, because the great thing is all the windows are intact. None of them are broken, none of them are cracked or anything, which is huge because they're all curved, most of them, and actually I think all of them are. And it's just that's an expense that I don't want to take. So, however, that can use some new ceilings. So I want to see about finding somewhere. So if anybody knows anybody, that would be great, that we can send these to or drop these off at here in the Washington area to get that redone. And then it'll be full steam ahead working on the frame and getting the frame welded up in areas that it needs re-welded and maybe some reinforcements. I'm definitely thinking about taking the space where they put the spare tire, just because I see that as an area where weather can affect it. So I think I'm just going to make that smooth, and I'm going to figure out another way of like housing the spare tire in the Airstream. Some parts are going to go quicker, some parts are going to go slower. I think it's just going to be a matter of having patience. And yeah, like Ali said, little things happen. My mom always said life is what happens when you're planning. So just kind of go with the flow with this, and I still feel very optimistic about it. I know it's hard to not be pessimistic about things when things go sideways. So for all of you out there who, same thing, all your plans are turned upside down, just try to keep a positive mental attitude. So as long as you got breath and a heartbeat, can't nothing keep you down.
And toilet paper, as long as you have toilet paper.
Allie's been eating toilet paper and Twizzlers at the cyclic rate.
Eat toilet paper. But toilet paper is a hot commodity right now. Our neighbor brought us 2 paper towel rolls, which is really nice. So we'll make it through, folks. We're gonna hunker down. And the nice thing is we run into like 2 people per day, and they all live across the street from us. So we're not really too worried about getting sick. And thankfully we can be outside and enjoy the sunshine without having to worry about the whole social distancing deal. You know, I thought I was an extrovert until I married this guy. And then I realized I'm not that. Well, everybody.
No social distancing in this household.
We hope at the very least that this video has helped you feel better about everything you're behind on. And we wish you luck on all of your projects and not going insane over the next few weeks or few months, however long this lasts. But we will see you next time. Adios.
Spring break 2020. Woo!